everybody, good afternoon. My name is Aldo Passarinho and I am here with Tiago, Tiago Nunes, as Daniela introduced us. The way that we assume this project and the metaphor that we find to try to translate this project to our reality. So we came from a polytechnic in south of Portugal, in a small town in south. We have BA courses and post-vet courses, and we try to work in this project with some of our students and with young people that are outside of the employed market. For this project, we start to identify the target group, and we find two groups to work. In first place, we find that we must work with young people with vocational pre-training enrolled in employment centers of the Institute of Employment and Vocational Training, what we call EFP. Young people that are not studying or not working, are young people that in most part of case are looking for a job, but they have self-confidence, that they are not very confident with himself and with his school history, and sometimes with the family history. That's we will talk a little bit about that. This is the first group that we find to work. The second group, we thought that we must work with our students that are in the end of the courses, students that we want in a way of prevent the way that we'll try to find a job. We thought that we can work with these young students to try to apply this methodological process of increase the way that they present to the market. One important thing after identify these two groups is try to enroll the institutions. It's very important for us, and one of the first things that we tried to do was speak with the Institute of Employment from our region, and we meet Fernando Romba. It's the responsible of this institute in our region, and if I can, I'd like to tell you that Fernando came here to this end meeting. He's here with us, and I'd like to thank to Fernando because it's very important, because this meeting and this enrollment give us more self-confidence to understand these people, because this institute work with these people and have to find job for these youngers, and it's very important to try and understand this group. With the second group, with our students, we try to do a different thing. We try to work with a group of our teachers that work with the students, and we work with these teachers, our teachers, but with special characteristics, because we have some teachers that have interesting history, because some of them come back to studies later, and they are success cases of the way that people came to the higher education, take a course, and could be teachers and could be another professional. And we have here two of our colleagues, teachers. That was one of them, Mikael, is here too. Is taking a picture. Was our students. Now it's our colleague, and is a kind of profile of this kind. So this is the group that we work. And Ana Rita is one of the teachers, and is here with us. So, why the tree of life? Why the tree of life? Because we thought for this project that we must find a way to engage the young students. It's very important because we speak about people that are not very confident, as I tell you, and we thought that we must find a way to engage people to the courses, because it's not very easy with first of all, with the first group, it's not very easy to engage people. And we thought that we must find a kind of metaphor, very intelligible, it's very understandable. Yeah, kind of understandable. And we choose this metaphor, and after this we try to build a kind of visual metaphor that give us cultural engagement for the course. I try to explain now. So what we do? We thought that everybody have this kind of idea, because I have my background, my family background, I have my roots, I know where I came from, I have my roots, and I have a pet of my life, and I have some moments, and I have a family, I have my uncles, I have my fathers, and I have some moments that mark my history of my life. And there are for these two groups that we choose, there are some parts that some common parts, that the easy parts, because everybody have a father, have a mother. Almost everybody have a father and a mother. Some of them have structured families, but many of them have unstructured families. So what we try to do is to try to understand and create a way to put people speak, and try to put some special moments of his and her life in a way, and talk about that in a natural way. So, and we try to get some examples, and I give you an example to speak about that, to speak about the tree of life of each one, but in a natural way, in cultural, environmental, with a cultural engagement. And we give some examples. For instance, we show this is one of the examples, the tree of life of Gustav Klimt, to speak about the tree of life, but in a natural way, not directly, not ask for the moments of crisis of his lives, but to speak in a natural way. But during this training, we conclude that we must go a little bit far away, and we understand that, and I will use another metaphor in English. I don't know it will work, because not every apples fall down in a tree. Some of apples fall far away from the tree, and this is the most important for us, and this is maybe the most important for enroll people and engage people in our training, because I'm interested in the apple far away from the tree, not the apple down the tree, because the apple down the tree, I have a kind of a stigma, and I have it's difficult put people speak and put people make his and her storytelling. Okay, storytelling. So this is the material for this kind of a metaphor. The apple far away from the tree. I recommend a book that I'm read at this time from Andrew Solomon that talk and write about that. And we developed this kind of shape, and where we have a root. The root is the place where the people put the name, but we have branches with the circles, and we ask for students put some kind of doodles, some kind of words, some kind of thoughts, write and talk about that. And this is a very simple way to put people speak about life. The results are something like that. Each people have something like that, because we give some time, and Tiago will speak about that. We give some time to people thought about the life, and make the doodles, and put the words, write the words that meaning something, and after we put people explain what is the meaning, because this meaning give us a path. It gives us some elements that it will help during the training. So, and with this kind of metaphor and with this idea, we developed the curriculum with a set of sections, and in each section we have some specific way to try to translate these words, these doodles, and these ideas of each the branches of tree of life of each student. So after now, Tiago will introduce you our course and our curriculum.
Yes. So following with what Professor Aldo said, with those two groups, we develop a course which is based on a course with 8 to 12 sessions. So it's 8 basic sessions that may be divided, some of the sessions in 2 parts. And this is some pictures of session 1. It was the very first session when we had the group from the institution of employment. And let's see if the link works. Just to show you a little bit, we develop for each session a program. I'm not going to show every document, but just some examples. For example, in session number 1, which is what we are right now. So for each session we decided what could be the time. We have a syllabus. For example, this is a presentation of the trainees and the trainers, presentation of the project, and etc. So for each session we established the key activities for that session, in this case a number of 4, resources for those key activities, what kind of trainer do we need to that session, because we had basically 3 different trainers that were used for specific sessions, and we explain in each program, each session, what is the profile of the trainer that may conduct that unit, and then what is expected to happen, so the outcomes. For the whole 12 sessions, we have a document like this with this commitment to do this program. Let's go back. Yes. So this is the first session. It was a kind of a kickoff that we presented the project. This first group was from the unemployment agency. So we had a group of 10 to 12 people, but afterwards only 2 or 3 from that first group continued to do the course. And afterwards we joined the second group, which was our students that were finishing the courses. So the final group was a mix of this first group and then our students finishing the BA courses. So in the second session, during the second session, which we called My Tree of Life Narrative, the target group were asked to reflect on their personal vocational biography by means of that document that I will show. So this is some pictures of the session, the actual session. So we gathered around the table and they were invited to express themselves by means of this document, and some results we already shown this kind of documents. So the third session, after they have filled the schematic tree, they will use the content from that tree to outline and prepare their digital narrative, to use just like a screenplay or some kind of a guide, and and to try to identify what kind of technology and what kind of tools they needed to use, because we introduced the video, some brief inputs on video editing, so they knew that we were going to prepare their image, their self-presentation, their self-image, and to use the video tools and other tools. I'm gonna present it. So this is some of the sessions that we use. This is our lab, so we use our art and media lab to conduct these sessions, and also our studio. We have a television studio that we also use to do that. And after session 3, I'm gonna take a little while to explain session 4, which was divided into 2 parts, session 4A and 4B, which is the makeup, stylish and photo shoot, that we have the precious help of our colleague Ana Rita, who conducted this session in order for them to prepare a photo shoot and to actually bring something that could be distinctive on their lives. And I have here the example of Elsa, which is one of our students, who during one of the sessions talked about Leo, which is her dog, and how important that dog was for her life course. And the dog was presented in her tree, and Professor Aldo said, well, why don't you bring the dog? And she brought the dog, and when we did the photo shoot, he's here, and it's part. She explained why it's a very important part of her path. And this leads us to the section 5, which we call the turning point. So it's a moment, a kind of a point of no return, that they realize that they have more value than they thought before. They have more interesting things to share and to prepare. So the section 5 was this turning point, when they prepare not just the photo shoot, but also preparing the sessions 5B and 6, which was the audiovisual production. So they were asked to prepare a kind of a screenplay and to do a brief introduction of themselves in front of the camera. And we prepared the set, they prepared the text, and because one of the sessions has to do also to write for the web and write for the visual, and they had some sessions like this. Some results in the final sessions. For example, session 7, they are introduced to not a specific platform, but how to use the platform they are already in, or some other platforms. These 2 examples of Carol Silva and Marta Serrano were two girls who benefited from this course. They prepared their portfolios, they prepared their CV, and they updated their online presentation of themselves. Caroline Silva, she's a Brazilian student who moved to Beja some years ago, and then she decided to do the BA course. She's a very, very nice student, and we discovered some interesting things about her life, and she values during that session. And actually, during the time we were doing this project, she was interviewed by our local newspaper, Diário do Alentejo. It's a very traditional newspaper, and she gave an interview about this foreign student that moved to Beja. Then, so it was a lot of, all sorts of stuff that happened around this project that gave extra value to her path. Now she's preparing the continuum of study. She wants to do a master's degree and a PhD, so she decided to go to a research career during this period of time that we work with her, which is a very interesting case. I don't have the time to show everything about her, but just to give another example. And this one, which was a Portuguese student, Marta Serrano, she is a very polyvalent student and worker, and she paid very close attention to all of this, and she finished her training internship right now, and she prepared a nice curriculum to present herself into the market. I'm just gonna show this. It's in Portuguese, but it's just 1 minute and a half to see the kind of clips they prepared to present themselves. She shared this in social network. It's not a long video, it's just a brief presentation, but we get to know who she is. Let's see if I can do what I'm promising. There's sound, but let's have sound. Okay.
Sou Marta Serrano, tenho 22 anos, nasci em Évora. Moro em Reguengos de Monsaraz, apesar de já ter vivido em Vila Nova de Santo André durante 7 anos. Por motivos familiares tive que mudar-me para Reguengos de Monsaraz. Não tenho qualquer problema em deslocações, adapto-me facilmente a diferentes ambientes de trabalho. Já trabalhei 4 meses nos supermercados Modelo e Continente e 1 ano numa escola primária como assistente operacional. Foi importante para mim ter trabalhado, permitiu-me pensar de outra forma e ver as pessoas de outra forma e lidar com elas de outra forma. Tenho atividades extracurriculares como a música é uma atividade muito importante. Toco guitarra nos meus tempos livres, sempre que possível participo com colegas em concertos e outro tipo de eventos, mas sem dúvida que a música é uma atividade muito importante para mim e permite-me trabalhar a minha criatividade. Atualmente estou a estudar Educação e Comunicação Multimédia. No final do curso, o principal objetivo é conseguir emprego na área que quer, que é o design gráfico ou fotografia, mas maioritariamente design gráfico, por isso espero concretizar esse objetivo.
So they did this kind of short clips just to present. She didn't concentrate on the skills, but what she is, what she likes, and she has a, sorry, I didn't translate it, but she works with children. It's a very nice and multitask girl. So in conclusion, we reached at least, we have these 6 key factors that has to do with the success of our experience. We realized that non-academic experience could be recognized. This is one of the examples as an enriching asset for presentations of visual vocational biographies, not just the skills, but what they are in non-academic experience. The quality of the vocational visual biography would be a factor of success in the active search for employment. She said in the video, I want to get a job, so that's my goal. They can improve the media and the profile and their presence in social network using small video presentation, not long documents, but small and very condensed contents. And increasing the potential to contact professionals that can help. We had a photographer, just like our colleagues from Barcelona, that we had also a colleague which is a photographer who did that photo shoot, a makeup professional who do that session also with Anahita. And the 5th point is the hypothesis of developing skills in the field of the use of resources that they usually have no way of using. So we put at their access to do a full HD video with some lighting conditions, things that could be difficult in other ambients. and help them to work with free software as well. And our students have natural skills for software, but we had some people from the employment agency that never used video editing before, and we had some nice examples that they also did the video CV and they prepared and they learned some skills. And the final session of this course that we developed, and we want to, in the future, try to use that course again, because we find it very useful for our institution, not just for our courses, but we have this course that we can apply to the students in the final year of the BA courses. It's one of the goals we have. And the last session in those courses would be a network session, that we have some students from these courses that they themselves are planning to organize networks, network events, to do this kind of stuff. So for us, for our community, for our context, we find it that this was a very useful kind of work. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I think we're having a coffee break now. Yes.